What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Edgar movie review. Today we're going to be reviewing him, directed by Justin Tipping and not Jordan Peele. Remember that. Jordan Peele produced the film, not directed it. Let's get right into it.
Do I look at you or the camera?
You'll just look right at me. You'll just ignore the camera.
Okay.
There are a lot of people saying you could be the next great quarterback.
I can already see it now. Cam running down the tunnel with the crowd chanting his name.
I hear you've been invited to train with legend Isaiah White himself. Care to elaborate?
I want to be the GOAT.
Alright, so him. This film's about a young kid that saw his dream quarterback or his team's quarterback player get injured, and his dad motivated him, or not in a sense of motivated, but pushed him throughout his whole childhood for him to become like Isaiah White, played by Marlon Wayans. Cameron Cade's life. He's worked hard and has tried to achieve to be a quarterback for the Saviors, which is the team in the film. Cameron Cade, played by Tyreek Wither. So Cameron Cade's career has been going well until at last moment when he's out in the field practicing by himself. He gets struck by a crazy fan, and for most people that are going to go watch this film, spoilers, you might not understand it, as many people believe that Jordan Peele was the guy that directed this film, when in reality he was just the one that produced it, and Justin Tipping was the guy in charge of directing this film. So Cameron Cade, while out practicing on the field by himself, he gets struck on the head by an unhinged fan, and this fan is actually one of Isaiah White's crazy fans. So because Isaiah White, he still wants to be the greatest, and so he says on his contract he still has a year left, but Cameron Cade is invited to go practice with him, as he is hooked up with some of the owners of the Saviors. Once Cameron Cade gets to the facility of Isaiah White, he is there to explore and train with him for a whole week. While being there for a whole week, he experiences a lot of crazy stuff that goes on throughout the duration. And throughout this film, we are introduced to each of these different events that happen throughout days. So there's day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, so on. Each day is named per what happens each day. On day 1, Cameron Cade and Isaiah White are training hard. It's just normal stuff, nothing out of the ordinary happens. It's just throwing footballs, doing some regular conditioning, and just getting to know each other. On the second day, that's when it's just conditioning and trying to work hard. And that's when, on the second day, it sort of starts to get to, the weirdness starts to unravel. Cameron Cade starts to realize that Isaiah White isn't who he really is, and it's kind of strange what they do at his complex, if that's what you like to say. I mean, his house is pretty much a complex. So each night throughout the days is when Cameron Cade starts to experience weird things, whether it be some crazy fan that's creeping up on him, or if it's some weird fans dressed in a weird suit lurking in the dark rooms while he's just wandering around Isaiah's White compound. Okay, so each night you think something weird's gonna happen, but as soon as you feel like something's gonna happen, it goes straight to the next day. So it's just a quick rise of suspense, but then after that, it just lowers it down. Okay, and so throughout the other days, stuff starts to get a lot weirder as Cameron Cade starts to unravel or uncover, however you like to think about it, what a type of person Isaiah White really is. Each night, Cameron Cade starts to experience weirder and weirder things, to a point where one minute him and Isaiah White are chilling in a sauna. Isaiah White leaves the sauna, and Cameron stays back to relax. But once closing his eyes, one of those weird unhinged fans comes from underneath the sauna bench, grabs one of the hot rocks, and is about to nail Cameron in the head with one of the hawks. But Cameron opens his eyes quickly enough to get the uphand on the crazy unhinged fan. Cameron starts to choke her out, thinking that he has finally choked her out to where she's passed out. He turns around and he sees Isaiah White there, and he starts to question, what the hell are you doing here? But the lady on the bench that's supposedly supposed to be dead already, or I guess unconscious, wakes up and starts to run towards him. But when she sees Isaiah White, she just stops and starts acting hella weird, and starts being a super fan towards him. But then Isaiah White, all of a sudden, he tries to go in for a little kiss. But then, at that point, it starts to get a little weird. But then all of a sudden, he gets her and throws her against the back wall, and she's gone. After that night, Cameron Cade and Isaiah White, they continue on with their week-long training sessions that they're going to have together. They end up having a media day where they start to take pictures for sports magazines or just after the media day, or I guess the sort of pictures. They have they have a couple parties, have after parties. Once arriving to these so-called after party, it's located in a weird, almost abandoned location. There's no cars, but once going into the building, it's full with a whole bunch of people. And surprise, surprise, once they go into the main room of the party, is the owners of the football team, Saviors. Once going up to the Savior owners, they start to talk about, this is your big opportunity. Are you willing to accept our offer? And are you ready for the next step? Cameron starts to sort of black out as he starts to drink a lot. And you go through this weird sort of crazy like flashing motion where you have this one girl. Have the one of the other characters named Elsie White, or Elsie White, which is Isaiah White's wife. And here you see that she's stabbing something, who knows what. It doesn't really show it. It shows Cameron Cade, you know, like doing some type of grunting voices. But then after they get to a certain scene where he's just on the ground, he gets up and he goes to this sort of like podium with something underneath, or something's covering something. He goes to unravel it, and it's one of the medical trainers whose head has been chopped off and put on there. There is where Elisa White, or Eliza, comes up from behind him and just stabs him, and he falls to the ground. Once Cameron Cade wakes up, he wakes up on some type of like strolly type of bed with blood going into him, which is actually Isaiah White's blood, which is a whole nother story, as if most of that blood is like, it's kind of weird. He gets out of his thing and he goes to Isaiah White's case of his MVP trophy and all his rings. He grabs a trophy and starts heading to find Isaiah White. As soon as he gets to his main room, where he spends a good majority of the film saying he's gonna watch some film, he's just there chilling, looking up. It's just a whole film of a crowd just cheering him on. And he starts to ramble about how good it feels to be having fans just yelling your name. And then he starts to state how he really wants to keep playing, you know, that he has one more year left with the Saviors and that he doesn't want anyone to take his position. So they end up dueling towards the end of the fight. You have Cameron Cade versus Isaiah White, fight to the death. At first you think, oh shit, you know, Cameron Cade's better knock this guy out. This guy's younger than him, but he throws a couple of punches, but eventually Isaiah gets the upper hand, you know, breaks his freaking arm. It's pretty brutal. But then, you know, Cameron somehow has got that dog in him, so he gets back up. Yeah, and then he starts talking. He grabs a helmet, and as soon as Isaiah White starts charging at him, he turns around and just knocks him out with the helmet, and then he starts to continually bash him. After that, he walks through the crowd, or through the tunnel per se, into a big old football field where he has cheerleaders, masked cheerleaders, and you have the owners of the Saviors in each chair with some type of like weird pig or sheep mask. And then you have Eliza White, the woman, right there saying, do you accept this contract, or some random stuff like that. And so you have like this whole circle of like a whole bunch of stuff from Cameron's childhood, and it's in the star of the lumen, or like Satanism type of like the star, like the cultist, whatever, you know, that weird star. Put a picture right here. But yeah, he decides not to. He grabs the freaking big old sledgehammer. It's got like a spike, some flat thing, and just starts going crazy. Starts smacking people, starts throwing freaking swords from the back. He starts killing everybody. He goes ham. But yeah, in the end, he decides that football just wasn't it, you know. These guys from the owners, you know, even his own agent claimed that since he was a little kid, they've been grooming him to become a superstar, to overtake Isaiah White. To this film, there were some weird things, as like certain scenes they use like an X-ray type of like filter on these guys. I didn't really enjoy it. It had some cool aspects, but not something I would have wanted in the film. But yeah, overall the film was great. Some people were excited to go into the film to see Jordan Peele masterpiece, but others came out pretty disappointed from, or I guess confused from the films. But again, Jordan Peele did not direct this film, he produced it. Justin Tipping directed this film. Now if you don't know the difference, a producer is meant to hire actors and get the funding for the film, and just like the regular logistical things for the film, while a director is meant to lead the film in his own creative ways or artistic ways. He's just there to put his own taste into the film from production to final edit. But yeah, that was my short and sweet review on him. I hope you enjoyed this Edgar movie review, and I recommend you guys go watch this film. So hope you enjoyed this. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.